So, thank you for being here and welcome to My Safe Word is More. My name is Al Jackson, and if you don't already know, which you better know, my lovely and talented and super dope human being all around, Corinne Kaplan. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for that intro. I'm excited to put this little thing we're doing out into the world.
Well, let's talk about how we got to this thing, because we knew each other, and here's my big word for today. We knew each other tangentially.
Oh, look at you.
I'd met you a few times. I co-host a daytime talk show, Daily Blast Live. Watch it every day, 3 o'clock. And, friends of the show, people I work with, they knew you. You were on our show,
yes.
Major role in one of our biggest productions ever. For real, Clothed and Afraid, where myself and my co-host Jeff Schroeder from Big Brother went up against Sam and Tori, my two female co-hosts, and you were the moderator, referee.
Yeah, it was like the Jeff Probst for them. And,
yes.
It was really fun, and we got to know each other then.
Well, you were perfectly suited to do that because you've been on Survivor.
Yes.
Talk to us about that and The Amazing Race. You're not going to toot your own horn, so I will.
Oh, I would have said that if you forgot it. Yes, I had done 2 seasons of Survivor, and if you don't know me from there, that's fine. I don't watch that show anymore either. And then I got to do The Amazing Race with one of my good friends, Eliza Orlins, and that is what brought me in studio to get to co-host something with him, and we got to know each other. And Al is not only on a syndicated talk show, which is like the greatest job of all time, but he's also a touring stand-up comic, and I only want to sit across from someone who is funny. That's like the biggest prereq here.
And with that, full disclosure, we went to dinner because I was like, Corinne's super cute. And we ended up talking, and you were just like, we should make this a podcast. And I was like, yeah, we should. Mm-hmm. And if that was the greatest letdown of all time, it worked because now we have a show. I remember leaving that dinner, and it's going to sound corny, but I was like, we talked for hours. Yeah. And I didn't want to leave. I think my butt was starting to hurt.
We were the last people in the restaurant.
Absolutely.
The valet came and brought the keys over. Yeah, and I was sitting across from you, and I'm like, so I've already become friendly with his co-host, but I don't find that many people in Denver where I'm completely drawn to, I want to hang out with this person. I know that's not that nice to say, but I used to have lots of people like that in LA.
You're like,
New York,
I don't know
Miami.
anybody, so you were good enough.
Denver's kind of loserish. And he stuck out like a sore thumb. I was like, this guy's going to be my new best friend.
Yes.
And towards the end of the date, he's like, I would like to date you. And I was like, oh, no. This is my one chance of having this conversation as much as I want and not sinking this whole situation. So I was like, let's be friends first. And then we started podcasting, and I was like, that was the right decision.
Yes, and I called you and I was like, thank you for slamming the door in my face, because you opened the door to what I think is going to be the dopest podcast of all time.
Yes, and I will say that I am somebody who, after a while, everything, I feel like things in my life that are supposed to be fun, I don't think are fun. And I am so excited every time I come into the studio to talk to you. I have never dreaded it. I am almost always here early. As soon as you're like, yeah, you can come over at 3:30, I'm like, I'll be there. I love recording this, and I really hope that shows through. I super enjoy time with you.
I think it will. They say that nobody can lie for more than 10 hours. Eventually, your real self comes out. And honestly, as people listen to episode after episode, they will realize, I did, Corinne is if you wrote her character in a movie script and you submitted it to a studio.
Kind of like my father did with the play.
Yes, we will get to that, my friends. If you submitted a Corinne and you had the character breakdown, this is Al, African-American, 35 to 46, jovial, fun. Okay, and then Corinne's breakdown would be a person that has more crazy stories than your best friend's crazy story. If you have a best friend that has a ton of crazy stories, she's got 100 for each one that they have. You have led one of the craziest lives I've ever heard. And you talk about it with the casual nature of somebody that tells you when the next museum tour starts, 2 o'clock. You're just oh yeah, I was there. Yeah, when we were in the jungle and I got bit. And you're just all these stories. Yeah. And we haven't even got the dating. Corinne, you've got a type that the more you listen, you will hear.
Yes. I'm a deeply superficial person. But that brings us to how we ended up with the name for the show.
Yes.
So we were going back and forth, and first and foremost, if you don't know this, when you're trying to start a podcast, you have to make sure there's not another podcast with that name.
Right.
And so I put together a whole list of names, and the particular name we went with, which is fucking awesome, My Safe Word is More, is actually something that I actually wrote on an application for a sex club. So years ago, I was dating a guy, and we thought it'd be like interesting to go try and see like people having live sex.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, we were like, let's spice it up.
Some people think the zoo at night with a glass of wine is interesting. So I think what you're doing is interesting.
This was quite zoo-like.
Yes.
But this is like years and years ago. And so we honestly, we had gotten into, it was like something roulette where you like, log on to this internet thing, and then you see people doing things. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Right. Chat
roulette?
Yes.
And so we were like, well, this is kind of interesting. Now, we don't do anything. We're really boring. But so we trained.
Why are you guys there? What are you guys, the accountants for
it's
okay.
We learned. So when you go to these, so the place, actually, I don't care, I'll name it. It's called Club Joy, Joi. And apparently once you get on the email subscription list, you can't ever there is no unsubscribe. He still receives the emails to this day. But when you fill out the application to become a member, the idea is they put you through like a little bit of a process, so not everyone can get in. And one of the things you have to do is pick a safe word. You also get to say your names. So I decided that my husband was going to be a doctor. Oh. Obviously, he wasn't even my technical boyfriend, but I was like, you are now.
Dress for the job you want.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I was like, if we're doing this, you're a doctor now. And so I named myself Coco von Muffelstein. Coco short for Corinne, Von because I've always thought of myself as a baroness.
That sounds like the name of Paula Abdul's dog, doesn't it? Yeah, okay.
No, that's MC Scat Cat.
Yeah, there we go. Shout out.
Yeah. So I'm Coco von Muffelstein. He's Dr. von Muffelstein. And on the application, they ask you what your safe word is going to be. And I thought it would be hysterical to write the word more. And they rejected our application, and we had to come up with something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that already kink shaming?
Yeah.
That's what you're into.
Yeah. So I think, after that happened, I just always thought it was like, it's a great analogy for my life. And I think that Al's life as a touring stand-up comic and a guy that has lived his life in extremes as well.
Yes.
It was the perfect name.
That's a good way to put it.
But this wasn't the first name I came up with. I had a whole bunch of others. Some of these Al's heard, some of them he hasn't. Well, the first one that I had, you came up, tell me the one that you said, because I had one that was so similar.
Wait, give me the first word. What was it?
I don't know, but on my list, I had "Let me conference you in."
That's one that I really still like.
Yeah.
I still let's beep that out because I love that one so much. I want to use that again. If somebody takes that, you better give us credit. And when I say us, I mean her, because that's a dope name.
It is. We could use that if we ever take callers. Ooh. That's the segment name.
Okay, yeah. So now you can't use it. How about that?
Yeah. There you go. And then you had something that was very similar.
What was it?
Maybe it was send to voicemail or like something, right?
Nobody leaves voicemails.
There you go.
That was on that whiteboard there.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Yes. Nobody leaves voicemails.
We kicked those around. I had a couple of others. Because this is what my best friend Richard says to me all the time. I thought it'd be a funny name for a podcast. Why are you yelling?
I love that too. But see, people would log on thinking it was about like childhood trauma.
Yeah.
So
because like this is one of the reasons you can see our mic setups are different is because I'm always at like a decibel 10, and my best friend Richard really hates that. And so I'll be like charismatically telling a story. We have whiskey poured, and then there'll be a group of people, and then he will just go, "Why are you yelling?" Which just just deflates me completely.
Just tell him because I care.
Yeah.
But I've always said with people, it's weird because I'm a professional entertainer that shows up to venues to entertain people. But Corinne, whether she knows it or not, you are a public professional entertainer because anywhere you go, you draw attention to you because not because of, you're yelling here, but just because of the passion you speak with. Nobody else talks like that. And so people are like, I don't know who that is or what she's talking about, but I want to hear the rest of that story.
I know. I've always said I'd make a great cult leader.
Yeah.
You see, because I speak authoritatively even if I don't know what I'm talking about.
Has there been a female cult leader?
Ma'anan Sheila was like very much the right hand.
But she took that over from a dude. Come on.
She did.
Break up the patriarchy. Come on, ladies. Start some cults.
This is the thing. If I'm ever co-cult leader, don't take a vow of silence because you don't want me to be the only person talking, I have now assumed leadership position.
Yeah, I'll move to the back. I'll be like, she's the neck that turns the head. So yeah, that's what's up.
I'll give you a couple others. I liked Where Do I Know You From? Because I just think we're kind of two people that like have, as I love this word, a modicum of fame.
Oh, yes.
But it's very possible you might not know how you know us from.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like that face. It's like, did I see you on the side of a bus? Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
I just had somebody I matched with go, I think we've matched like 5 times already. And I was like, I've never seen you. Like, he very definitely has my face in his recollection just from, rewatching shit, because that's what people do now with whatever, Hulu, Netflix, whatever. I think it's on Hulu. But I'm positive I've never seen this person's face before. And also his first name was like super whack, and I've never seen that name before. So yeah, where do I know you from? I thought would be a good title.
I mean, can you share the name
of the person?
Yes.
Well, I might go on a date with him.
Okay.
his first name is a last name. And then, okay, so this is his own fault, all right? He put up a picture that I was able to reverse Google image search because it's his headshot as a physician. So I did that because I thought the first name he put on had to be his last name. It's not. It's his first name. But all of this is to say I have never seen this person before. And trust me, I'd remember if I like matched with a psychiatrist. Like that seems like a very on the nose thing for me to end up doing, like ending up with a psychiatrist. But I have never dated one.
Still a doctor with great hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, trust. I went all the way in, like how many years has he been practicing, all that stuff. And then the last one that I just liked, it's one of my favorite things to say. It's your pleasure to meet me.
I like that.
So like most people, when you say hello, hi, I'm Corinne, it's my pleasure to meet you. I don't say that. I say it's your pleasure to meet me, because that is what I mean.
And that's how you get people talking shit about you at the house party in the kitchen. They're like, what's up with brunette in there talking about it's my pleasure to meet her. All right, we'll see. Let me finish this red Solo cup. Yes. Well, as you guys can see, we have a lot to talk about. You'll learn more about me. I'm a father, 3 kids.
I always forget that part.
That sounds like, well, I try not to acknowledge them. I don't talk to them a lot. I try to not think about them.
I don't pay my share of their tuition.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you guys are old enough. No, I love being a dad. I'm sober 3 years yesterday.
Oh my
Whenever
God.
you're looking at this, isn't that crazy? Yes, from alcohol. Like I stopped drinking, and so I have stories pre and post.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's my ADBC kind of.
Most people that get to that point where they stop drinking, it's because they used up all their.
That was. I was a cat with my 9 lives, and I knew it. I knew I was on 8. I was like, next time you have this conversation with yourself, it's going to be through glass to your public defender. Yes. So I'll be like, hey, they framed your dad. I'm a political prisoner. I got in a fight at the Dave and Buster's. They know what they did. So, yeah. So, I've had a crazy, wild life, and I think you have too. And I feel like that's why we understand each other. And more than that, we believe each other. Because most people be like, all right, I don't know if that happened. But when you live how we have, you're like, I could see that happening. I could see that.
There's never a story. I mean, everything I say is 100% true, but I would agree that if I didn't know me or you, it would be like, did that really happen? No, it did.
Yes.
I have receipts. The other thing is we are really excited to give you like the worst advice ever, but like advice from our perspective. And so
I would say the realist.
Yeah. Well, certainly the realist.
Because you need advice. And this is why you need advice from Corinne and myself. You need advice from somebody that, one, doesn't know you and doesn't have to take your feelings into account. Mm-hmm. Because when you have to take...
I wouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're good in any version of this example. But you need somebody that's going... It's like medicine. Yeah, you can put sugar and cherry flavoring to make it, but it's more effective when it goes down straight. And you'll just give people the realest advice that they're not probably going to get anywhere else. We're not giving extreme advice. We know that there's places to do that, and this whole show isn't going to be advice. It's going to be mostly our lives driven. We're going to intertwine y'all. Yeah. So we're all a fam bam.
Yes. I love the cult idea.
I think
this is how you build a cult, friends.
I think this is how it starts, because I feel like they're going to be showing these early podcasts, and it'll be in black and white.
This is very Scientology. Like, you tell me your traumas, and then I hold that against you, and
send me naked pictures. Yeah, I love how like these cults are like put to be so, they break your mind and all that stuff. But they do the same thing that like a gaslighting boyfriend would, like, send me nudes. Mm-hmm. Tell me 2 secrets. It's like, don't do that and you'll be fine. You can just leave whenever you want. So
you can email us at any point if you'd like at mysafewordismoreadvice@gmail.com. We tend to read them on air, that's it. Fresh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we don't pre-read them. So you'll get exactly our instant take.
Yes. And it's like we're like a restaurant that's like new. It's like, yo, we're not Chili's, dude. We're not Fridays. We're that new restaurant that's a little too expensive, but everything's made fresh to order. So it's like you wait a little bit longer. And even if you don't like it, you'll be scared to say it because then it'll make you feel like you're not cultured enough to really get what we're doing with our cuisine. So that's why we do what we do, because you can't critique us, because if you do, it makes you look bad. I think we're geniuses.
I'd say so.
All right.
So we're excited to present the show to you.
And to read your emails as well. So please reach out. Corinne, what's that email address one more time?
My safe word is moreadvice@gmail.com.
And what is your social media so people can get to know and start catching up on who you are before they start listening to this podcast, or while they're listening to this podcast, they can look at your beautiful pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, I got some thirst trappy pictures y'all can check out. At Corinne Sanity on Instagram and Twitter, and at Corinne Kaplan on TikTok.
You can find me on Twitter at Al Jackson, on Instagram at Al Jackson IG, and check me for live dates on aljacksonlive.com. Appreciate you guys. And thank you guys for taking the time to give us a chance to be part of your lives, because we're going to be here for a while. We ain't going nowhere, right, Boo?
100%. Yeah.
Puff and Smoke, we're out.
Bye.